Hi, I'm Cy Kellett, the host of this here program, Catholic Answers Live. I've got a special request for you. The person who listens just to this recorded version of Catholic Answers Live, right now, we're in the midst of our August 2022 pledge drive, trying to raise the funds to keep the show going. And a generous donor gave us $15,000 if we can match it with donations from you. So please help us to continue to share this content all around the world. Take 90 seconds and make your donation at givecatholic.com between now and August 15th. That's givecatholic.com. Each gift from those who listen to the recorded version of this show will be matched dollar for dollar up to $15,000. And as Bartles and James would say, thank you for your support. Hello and welcome to Catholic Answers Live. About the best thing that can happen is you get one show, 2 hours, and you get Tim Staples 1 hour and Jimmy Akin 1 hour. You're doing pretty good when that happens, and that is what is happening today. Open forum, both hours. You are welcome to call 888-318-7884, 888-318-7884. Whether you're Catholic or not, if you have a question about Christianity, about the sacraments, about the Bible, you want to talk about Jesus, we'd love to talk about Jesus with you. 888-318-7884. Now, that will be the last time I give out that number for a little while, though, because I got to give out another number today. It is time for our summer, our August pledge drive. Each year, we get to come to you 4 times a year and ask you for your support. So a couple minutes at a time throughout the show, we'll be asking you to call a different number to make a pledge. That number is 888-291-8000. 888-291-8000. And Tim Staples, if they make a pledge, we got a pretty good match this hour.
Amen. $15,000.
That's right.
$15,000 match, and that's just for this first hour.
Right. We use it up this hour, we get it.
Wow.
That's how it goes.
Fantastic, folks. So don't wait. You know what? Every time, Cy, do you mind if I jump in here?
No, jump away. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to jump because every drive, it is so hard to get the first callers.
I know, right.
So I want some folks to be bold right now and step up to the plate and call 888-291-8000 right now, because we got to match this $15,000. We've got a long road ahead of us, but we are going to get there, folks. But it ain't going to happen if nobody calls. So we need you right now to pick up the phone, 888-291-8000. And I want you to keep in mind, every gift you give is going to be doubled. It's going to be matched. That is exciting. I don't know when we first started doing this, but we have been so blessed here at Catholic Answers because folks donate. They continue to donate each time and say they want their money to be used as a match. This is exciting because years ago we didn't have this.
No, that's right.
And now we do. So let's take advantage of it right now, folks. We need your help at a time where I don't think there has been a more important time for the proclamation of the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ that we alone possess as Catholics as right now. The darkness that's in our culture and in our world, we've got wars looming, you name it. We are now in a recession here in the United States of America. So, folks, you really got to step up to the plate because some folks, Cy, I hate to say this, you don't want to be a downer, but we're already starting to see some companies laying off people. And unfortunately, that's what happens in a recession, Cy, is it's bad all around because the economy is shrinking, and then companies start to lay folks off. So you know what? We need you guys, those who can, we need you all the more to step up to the plate and make that call right now at 888-291-8000. And remember, you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com and you can give any time at CatholicAnswersRadio.com, or you can text Catholic, right? Text the word Catholic to 24365. But most importantly, pick up that phone because, folks, people are hurting out there. Those of you who can, you really got to step up to the plate.
888-291-8000. 15 of our colleagues and a couple summer interns on the line ready to take your call, but all the calls come right here to this building, to the folks we work with. 888-291-8000. Let me just review all the matches we've got because it's kind of exciting. As Tim said, $15,000 dollar for dollar match this hour. That means anybody calls up, gives any amount, pledge $1 a month, give a one-time gift of $10,000. It doesn't matter what it is. It's matched up to $15,000. But we also have a second match because we do have some large donors who have figured this out, that the life's blood of this apostolate is the monthly donor. So
Yes.
you get your money matched a second time if you're a new monthly donor. If you give a new monthly pledge, call up, pledge $10, pledge $20. Maybe you could do $50 a month, or maybe you could do $100 a month. I don't know what you're capable of. Make that pledge. It's going to get matched on our original $15,000 match and then matched again by that donor who really wants to help us to get new monthly donors. 888-291-8000.
Cy, as many of our listeners know, I had a major stroke 9 months ago, and I've only been back out on the road speaking just for the last few months and more. Last week, Cy, I spent a week in Nebraska, crisscrossing that wonderful Omaha and La Vista and Columbus and Kearney and Lincoln, and speaking at multiple churches, and it was so exciting. Just
Wow.
for me to be back on the road is
It's exciting,
exciting.
yeah.
But man, the responses, just incredible. Hearing the testimonies, people coming up to the table saying, thank you, Catholic Answers. Want to give a shout out, too, to the good folks at KVSS out there in Omaha. They are doing the work, covering all of Nebraska, part of Iowa. I think a little bit of Colorado, too, just a
Are they?
touch there.
Oh.
Now, I mean, those guys are fantastic. But folks, to hear the testimonies of people coming up and saying, man, I am Catholic today because of you guys at Catholic Answers. And I had so many different people tell me, go back and tell Cy and tell Jimmy and tell Trent and Carlo, man, thank you for what you do. That is priceless, folks. Lives are changed because of this broadcast. The vision of Carl Keating years ago,
Right.
and Mother Angelica, look where we've come. But folks, I could talk all day long about the changed lives and the testimonies that we receive. But folks, we're coming to you now. You know us. We give every day here to you guys, and we love doing it, sharing the gospel. But we need your help now. All right, we've got a slow start right now, okay, folks? We need some more folks to pick up the phone right now and call 888-291-8000 because you've got to know a couple of things that make this absolutely imperative. Number one, each 3-month cycle, we lose folks. All right, this is just a fact. Am I right?
Well, I mean, that's nature for
It
some of them.
is. Folks drop off for whatever reason. Sometimes they move. They don't have Catholic radio any longer. Some people die. They go on to be with the Lord. Whatever the reason, we're dealing with an attrition rate all the time. So you guys, we need to get back what we've lost in the last 3 months. And thank you right now. I see some calls coming in right now. But we also need to meet this match and take it to another level. Folks, I was just on a call with my friends from Australia, and we were talking about an upcoming event that we are going to have with them. And they were telling me how, Tim, Catholic Answers has impacted Australia like you just do not know. Because they said, look, you guys are the ones doing the work. You guys are the ones that inspired us to do what we're doing here in Australia. And Cy, I was really humbled by that, to
That is
see
humbling. Wow.
the impact in Australia. And we could go on, India, Malaysia, the Philippines, the impact we've had around the world and right here at home as well is absolutely incredible. But folks, again, we're turning to you now because we need your help. I don't think folks really realize, Cy, how important this drive is.
Right.
I mean, we say it, but folks, this is it. This is what's going to keep us on the air for the next 3 months. That is the bottom line. If you guys don't call, we're not here. I mean, that's really the way it is. And so I've said enough. I think we need to go
Let's do some calls,
to
yeah.
some calls, but I've said enough. But folks, we are asking you for help now. We are here to help you at 24/7. We do need to go home and sleep a little bit, but we're here for you. We need you now to call 888-291-8000. Give that $25 a month gift, folks. it will be doubled, and that's our lifeblood here at Catholic Answers. Give that one-time $100 gift, $20 gift, and don't let the devil tell you that your gift is too small, it's a waste. That is a lie. That's how we survive and thrive here at Catholic Answers, those small gifts. But I'm going to ask you as well. I know there are some folks listening right now that can give that $1,000 gift, that $5,000, and I know there's somebody out there that can give a $10,000 gift. We need you now. $10,000. 888-291-8000. We need you.
291-8000. That's 888-291-8000. Are safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Let's do our regular job. We'll start with Joseph in St. Louis, Missouri, listening on Catholic.com. Joseph, thanks for waiting. Go ahead with your question for Tim.
Well, thank you guys for taking my call. I really love your show. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you.
So I've learned that, yeah, no problem. I'll get right to it. So I've learned that our faith, that the virtue of faith doesn't directly come from evidence, but rather it's a gift from God. My question is, why is that the case? Because I know the Bible in Ephesians says it comes from God.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems. Here's my thought. It just seems weird to say that faith doesn't directly come from looking at all the evidence. It kind of sounds backwards, like, with establishing scientific theories or looking at political candidates, you look at the evidence and then you establish your belief.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
yes.
All right, let's let Tim take a shot at it.
That is an outstanding question, Ryan. And here's the bottom line. The reason why faith is, first of all, a gift, and you're right to point out Ephesians 2:8-9, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Is because our faith is beyond us. It is a supernatural gift. We cannot work up belief in the Trinity, for example. We cannot work up our divine and Catholic faith. It is a gift because it transcends our abilities. If God doesn't give us the supernatural grace, we simply cannot be saved, because we're called not only to know truths that transcend our natural abilities, but we're called to live a supernatural life that transcends our natural abilities as well. So first and foremost, it is a gift because what is required is supernatural power, supernatural illumination, so that we can know and live the faith, number one. But having said that, I think Vatican Council I beautifully defined this truth, that even though the faith is beyond our natural abilities, there's nothing about our faith that is irrational. Everything concerning our faith is reasonable. And there are some aspects of our faith that can be known with what we call the pure and natural light of reason. Like, we can reason to the existence of God. We can reason to all the points of the moral law without Scripture, without divine illumination, by the pure and natural light of reason. We can come to the resurrection, for example, as a historical fact. As the Catechism says in section 643, it is an historical fact. The life of Jesus, we can know he really lived, he really died, he was resurrected from the dead. We can know that through the pure and natural light of reason. However, in order for us, again, to make heaven our home, we need supernatural illumination, number one. And number two, it's, let's just say, most people do not reason their way to the faith. That is, the reasonability of Jesus as a historical person. And he demonstrated he was God, for example, by his miracles. Most people don't reason their way there. They come to faith because a friend, their father or mother share the faith with them, and they're brought to our blessed Lord. Many people don't have the intellectual chops or the time, the ability or the time that it takes to really dive in on the natural level to see the reasonability of our faith. And so God gives us revelation, not only concerning the things that transcend our natural abilities, but he also gives us revelation concerning the things that we can know through the pure and natural light of reason, so that, as Vatican Council I says, we can know it with facility, accuracy, and without the admixture of error. Because, see, apart from revelation, we would hit and miss. We would be wrong here, wrong there, and then, of course, we would miss it entirely on the things that transcend our natural abilities. So God, in his mercy, has given us revelation so that we can know those supernatural truths. We can be empowered to live the supernatural truths in our lives, because we can't do that according to nature. But even the things we can know naturally, God wants us to know it with ease, that is facility, accuracy, and without the admixture of error. That's the blessing we have in Scripture and tradition as it is interpreted by the Magisterium. And you know what, folks? I think our friend who just asked that question sums up why we need Catholic Answers Live. Right, Cy?
Yeah.
Because really that sums up what we are about here. We are here for one reason, and that is to give people Catholic answers. As Carl Keating said to me when I was first hired 17, almost 18 years ago, Cy, he said, "Remember, Tim, you are not here to give people Tim Staples answers.
Yeah.
You are here to give people Catholic answers. And if you're giving Tim Staples' opinion, you better tell them, well, this is Tim Staples' opinion.
Right.
And don't do that very much. Get back to, this is what the Catholic Church teaches. And you know what? That's what we do at Catholic Answers. We are like St. Paul in Romans chapter 1, verses 15 and 16, when he says, as much as it is in me, I am prepared to preach the gospel to those who are at Rome, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. That's what we're about, folks. That's why we're not so much into personalities here as we are in the proclamation of the gospel, because as St. Paul says, that is what has the power of salvation. And folks, right now, we need your help, because I'm seeing a whole lot of open lines, and we can't have this, folks. We got to make this $15,000 match, and we are way behind right now. So, folks, can you do me a favor? Pick up the phone right now. I know there are many of you right now, you've listened to us for so long, and you've not done it. You haven't, and you know what? You know you should have 3 drives ago. Guess what? Now's the time. Pick up the phone, 888-291-8000. Maybe it's that $25 a gift, a month gift. Man, that will be doubled. You go from $300 a year to $600 a year just by giving $25 a month, folks. Give us a call at 888-291-8000. And I'm going to ask again, especially since we're kind of sluggish right now, we're not getting very many calls. Can you be that one that's going to give that $10,000 gift? Can you be that one? I know there's more than one that can give $5,000 right now. Folks, what better thing to invest in, my friends, than an apostolate that is going to be used by our blessed Lord to harvest souls who will be saved for all eternity as a result? I don't know where you can put money in any better place than that.
I have to agree with that, Tim. I do want to say, since you said that about the larger donations, we have $70,000 match for new monthly donors this time. $70,000 match.
Wow.
That will get used up. You'll be surprised. That will get used up pretty quickly. So if you were to
Wow.
call today and say, you know, I can make a $1,000 gift. I can make a $5,000, $10,000. If you want that to be a matching gift, like if you're like, I could do that for a matching gift, just tell the person on the phone. They'll get you in touch with Christine, and we'll work it all out. And by Thursday, we'll be putting your money to work here, because we're going to need it. We're starting out kind of slow. There are 8 lines open right now. The number is 888-291-8000. You can also go safe and secure online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. It usually takes about 90 seconds to get through the process and get everything done. If you'd like to spend more time visiting, that's fine. Let me tell you right now, we need to raise $15,000 this hour. We're 1/3 of the way through the hour, and we are 1/5 of the way to meeting that match. That's
Uh-oh.
a long way to go.
Let's go, folks.
I do, and I'll tell you what, included in that $3,000 that we've raised so far, Ramona in Maryland, who's always very good to us, started us off with a $1,000 gift. So thank you, Ramona, very much for that. But that gives you an idea of this was not the it's not exactly secretariat out of the gate right now. Like we're so, but and you know, Tim gets nervous. Don't do that to him.
Yes, that's right.
888-291-8000, 888-291-8000. Tell you what, I want to go back to the phones, Tim, but before I do that, I'll let people know what the gifts are that we can give.
Yes, let's do it.
If you come in at a $10 a month gift, if it's a new monthly pledge, a $10 a month pledge, it's going to be doubled with our $15,000 match, and then it'll be tripled with that extra match for new monthly gifts. So you come in at $10 a month, your gift is tripled to us because of our very generous donors, but we'll also send you a welcome box because you'll be a member of Society 315, our giving society. You get a T-shirt, you get the car magnet, you get all kinds of exclusives all throughout the year. You get to participate in the exclusives. Like Trent and I just did one on Roe versus Wade when it got overturned. And you get coupons to the Catholic Answers shop. So that's $10 a month. A lot of great stuff happens for us because your donation gets tripled. And then you're part of Society 315. If you could do $20 a month or more, all that is true. But we'll also send you Tim's book, Behold Your Mother, a biblical and historical defense of the Marian doctrines. And one of Jimmy's books, The Bible is a Catholic Book. Behold Your Mother, really one of the seminal books of our time on the Virgin Mary. It's one that many, many people refer to. You're going to love having this on your shelf. And the Bible is a Catholic book. Well, maybe the kids ask, where'd the Bible come from? Why do we read the Bible? And let's say this is one anyone in the family can read, and it's a wonderful kind of tour through where we got the Bible and what it all means. If you can do $45 a month, we'll add Trent's new book, Devil's Advocate, Facing My Inner Anti-Catholic, where Trent tackles all the anti-Catholic arguments he can think of. That's at $45 a month or more. We need those new monthly pledges. They're all tripled right now, 888-291-8000.
You know what, folks? I really believe that if you could hear the testimonies that I heard just last week, traveling, just speaking to 1,000 of our closest friends here and there, the testimonies just from there, we would not have 12 open lines right now at 888-291-8000. I guarantee you, because it is incredible. If you could hear the calls that come in, I will never forget personally when it was then Father Vincent Serpa who took the call from an Orthodox priest. Yeah, it's actually a priest from the Orthodox Church of Antioch. Okay, that split with us in 451 after the Council of Chalcedon. Okay, I mean, this was incredible. And Father Serpa, and evidently he had been calling in a lot. He had gotten our stuff. He'd been reading. Okay, and Father Serpa answered a question about the papacy, and right on the broadcast here, this Orthodox priest from the Orthodox Church of Antioch said, "You know what? There is nothing that would keep me from full communion with the Catholic Church. How do I go about it?" He said it on live broadcast, and Father Serpa, his jaw hit the ground. He was he didn't know what to say. He was like, "Well, okay." And we ended up, folks, we had to actually connect him with the Vatican because we have very close relations with that church, and the Vatican brought him into the church.
Isn't that beautiful, Tim?
But, you know, the point is, we have calls. I've told you my Assembly of God friend up in Modesto, and I'm sure he's listening now. Hello, Alan. Alan Saylor, who was an Assembly of God minister who happened upon Catholic Answers, didn't even know there was such a thing as Catholic radio. The thing just happened to be on his truck. He started his truck, and there it was, Catholic Answers. He's like, I didn't know it was Catholic radio. And he went to turn the dial, and the dial was broken. It wouldn't turn. And so, and then he tried to turn it off, and that dial was broken. He couldn't turn it off, and he couldn't change it. And he said, he told me, Alan told me, he said, well, I guess I'm going to listen to Catholic radio. And good, I'll get some ammunition so I can help these people to get saved. And guess what happened? He got addicted to Catholic Answers Live, started buying our stuff. I ended up going up to Modesto, meeting with him, an incredible guy who has since become Catholic, lost everything, my friends. But as he told me, he gained everything when he gained the Eucharist. Folks, this is the stuff we see at Catholic Answers day in and day out that I am convinced, folks, again, if you guys could see the letters, there are literally thousands of people, pastors, you name it, whose lives have been changed and that we're in ongoing dialogues with, constantly bringing them to the fullness of the faith. Folks, it wouldn't be a question. You pick up the phone, and I see somebody picked up the phone, so why don't you do it now? 888-291-8000. Folks, we are way behind. We're not even close to meeting our match yet of 15,000 for this hour. So can you do me a favor? Think about this. There are millions, untold millions of people out there who are where they are, whether they're atheists or they're agnostics or they are members of other Christian communities, quasi-Christian sects, you name it, who all they need is someone. These are the good people, that Jesus talked about when he said in John 10, my sheep hear my voice, they know me, and another they will not follow. There are good folks out there that just need to hear the gospel, and that's what we are here for. But guess what? We can't do it. We really can't. This isn't hyperbole here.
No,
we cannot do it without you. So, folks, I'm going to ask one more time, okay? Actually, I'll ask a lot more times. But right now, I'm going to ask you one more time. 888-291-8000, folks. We need those gifts. And judging from the slowness of the calls right now, folks, we really do need those big gifts. There's somebody out there that can give that $10,000 gift. There's several of you that can give those $5,000 gifts. Please call that $1,000 gift. Come on. Please call now. 888-291-8000. And don't, I'll say this again, don't let the devil tell you your $25 gift doesn't mean anything. It means everything here. Plus, it gets doubled. It's not 25, it's 50. So call us, 888-291-8000. Or remember, you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com as well, or text Catholic to 24365.
888-291-8000 is the number. There's the music. So I'll tell you what, we're going to Cleveland, Ohio next, and we got a call in California and Nebraska and Texas. We're going to get to all those calls. I'll promise you this. When we come back, right to the phones, 888-291-8000, or safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
Will you do us a favor right now? Clear your mind of all other thoughts and reflect for just a moment on how Catholic Answers Live has made a difference in your life. Has our broadcast made your afternoon commute more meaningful? Perhaps you've learned how to explain the faith to family or friends in a more vibrant, convincing way. Something you heard here may have been just the thing you needed to look into joining or returning to the Catholic faith. All of these are serious reasons to be thankful, first and foremost, to God, but also to all who have financially made it possible for us to air the show each day. Believe me, our gratitude could not be deeper. And we're coming to you today during our quarterly membership drive, asking you to join the ranks of the great people whose gifts and sacrifices have helped to turn around countless lives over the years, and, very possibly, helped make an eternal difference for many of them. Think about that for a moment. That's what your prayers and donations to Catholic Answers Live are doing. What a tremendous opportunity is being presented to you right now. Please don't let it pass you by. Call 888-291-8000 or visit CatholicAnswersRadio.com and let one of our fast, friendly customer service team members take your pledge. Large or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you call right now. Again, it's 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. We're offering some great appreciation gifts that are sure to deepen your faith life even more. But what's best is you'll have the confidence that when you turn your radio on tomorrow, or next week, or 12 days from now, we'll be here, boldly and charitably presenting the truth to a world that's searching for precisely that. Your pledge is vital to keeping Catholic Answers Live on the air. Will you make the call today to 888-291-8000 or donate securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com? Thank you so much in advance. God bless you.
Open forum this hour. Tim Staples, our guest. We're halfway through the hour. We are a little over 1/3 of the way to our match this hour. Go ahead and call 888-291-8000 and help us get there. Lots of great matches. Ask about them when you call, but I said I'd go right back to the phone, so I'm going to do that. Mike in Cleveland, Ohio, listening on The Rock. We're glad to have you, Mike. Go ahead with your question for Tim Staples.
Thank you for your time. My question is regarding the sacrament of reconciliation.
Yes.
I've been to confession to a priest who I suspect is significantly hard of hearing. After confessing, I asked him if he heard what I said. He said no. I asked him if he wanted me to repeat it. He said no, that was fine.
Yes.
So my question is regarding the validity of the sacrament. If a priest is hard of hearing, it may not hear or understand what the penitent said. Is it valid?
Yes. It's a great question, and the answer is yes. The only time the sacrament would be invalid would be if there is a problem with the form, the matter, or intention. And in that case, you have no problem whatsoever. And of course, if you were not to confess all of the mortal sins that you are aware of course, that would invalidate. But that it doesn't matter essentially if the priest hears or not. It's really you that put up the obstacles. Again, unless you have a situation where a priest doesn't have faculties, and that obviously is not the situation here. But in answer to your question, no, the priest does not have to fully hear, comprehend every sin, because that does not put up an obstacle to his absolving you of your sins. Now, of course, I'm sure his bishop would want to help him, maybe get a hearing aid or whatever so he can hear, because the priest does need to discern whether or not, let's say, for example, somebody confesses adultery and then the priest says, well, are you going to stop this? Are you sorry? And he goes, oh, no, I'm not. Well, then the priest would not be able to absolve him. And if he did, it would be invalid anyway. But just not hearing it, there's nothing about that invalidates. And folks, you know what? When we're talking about sacraments like this, form and matter, the nature of the sacrament, guess what? Souls are on the line. And that's something we need to keep in mind, folks, when you're thinking about whether you're going to call in or not. We cannot tell you how many times over the years we've had people, in fact, we just got a letter from someone today. I just saw it, so I'm sure you did as well. A fellow who is really struggling, even having suicidal tendencies.
I did see that letter, Tim.
Did you see that letter?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really astonishing. We're in touch with, in fact, I am in touch with this man who called in, and he thanked us for the broadcast and for the transforming power that he's experienced, but he's still struggling. Folks, we literally deal with life and death situations, even on the natural level, but on the supernatural level, we're talking about the salvation of souls. So folks, please, we need your help now. We have to continue this. I mean, we're in an age of post-Christian culture that has become so dark. We need the light of the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and we're the only ones who have it as Catholics. If you look on your radio dial, we're not represented heavily on that dial. No, right? No. There are very
tiny little sliver.
A tiny little sliver there, folks, and we need to stay there, and we need to grow. So please, folks, give us a call. 888-291-8000. Come on, I need that. I want to hear Cy Kellett say, we just got a $10,000 gift. I want to hear that. Okay, folks? Give us a call at 888-291-8000. And I want to hear Cy Kellett say, we just got a new gift, $10 a month. That, of course, is going to be doubled. That is awesome, by the way, of the $70,000 somebody gave so that our monthly donors are doubled.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
my
exactly.
gosh.
Because this is something that we've always said on the air is that, the monthly $10 donation, the person may not realize what they're doing for us, but they're giving us stability. Like, we can plan. We can say, you don't start things like the School of Apologetics that we started unless you know that there's going to be the income there to support it. So we got some wealthy donors who said, well, if that's the case, why don't we go for those? Why don't we go? And so now we often have this wonderful thing where right now, if you've never given to Catholic Answers before, if you just gave right now $10 a month, it would literally be tripled for us. It's $30 a month for the whole year. And you're a member of the Society 315, and also you're helping to share the gospel. I'll throw that one in there. But it's really quite extraordinary deal. So please do pick up that phone, 888-291-8000, or go safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. If you're listening to us later on a delay, you can go right now to CatholicAnswersRadio.com or text the word Catholic to 24365. I'm going to go back to the phones.
Let's do it.
Because I was interested in that guy I was going to ask, where's this priest? Because it would be so much easier to make a confession if I knew he couldn't hear me. Did you hear that, Father? No? Good. No. All right. Stephen in San Antonio, Texas, listening on 89.7 FM. We're glad you're here. Stephen, go ahead with your question for Tim.
Hello, guys. Okay, here's the question.
Yes.
In the Bible, the Lord says that in the resurrection, we're not going to be given over in marriage.
Yes.
So the implication going to remove the sexual desire from our minds, and physically, are we not going to be able to have sex? Therefore, we're going to be sterile and impotent.
Right. Great question. And the answer to the latter is no. We will not be sterile or impotent. Everything that we possess now as human beings is only going to be perfected in the afterlife. It's hard for us to even fathom this. Think about it, Sai. But we will, our lower appetites is what we're talking about here, our hunger, the sexual drive and such, will be absolutely subservient to our higher powers of intellect and will, which will be fixed, absolutely directed to the beatific vision of God. So we will be absolutely fulfilled. And so because, as you said, the sacrament of holy matrimony is a sacrament for this life. Marriage is a gift from God, even on the natural level, that is ordered to this life, not the next life. The accompanying desires will be completely directed, subservient to our higher powers within right reason and directed toward our ultimate end, which is God. That's kind of the best we can do to explain this, because we are so, we're experiencing concupiscence in our lives every day. We can't imagine not having a single disordered thought, right? Because we have lots of them, right? Well, in heaven, there will not be even one disordered inkling, not one thought, right? Because, and this is not, to get at part of your question that I think is important, and it's not because God is going to destroy something in us or, make us impotent. No, he's going to free us to be fully human and partakers of the divine nature, as Peter describes it in 2 Peter 1:3, to a degree we cannot even fathom. I always like to go back to 1 Corinthians 2:9 on this one, my brother, where St. Paul says, eye is not seen, ear is not heard, nor is it entered into the heart of man what God has prepared for those who love him. And folks, you know what? It's questions like these I just love that our folks ask, because these are the questions. I know my kids, especially my older Luke, and I know he's listening right now, Luke loves to ask questions like that. And you know what? Our faith is food for the soul. There's nothing like, folks, when I see my son go, wow, Dad, that's awesome. When you share some truth, right? In Mark's gospel, remember, Jesus sees the crowds, and they're like sheep without a shepherd. And the scripture says he has mercy. He pities them, which is the same Greek root of the word mercy. He pities them. He has mercy on them, and he begins to teach them many things. Folks, the teachings of the church, the word of God is just, it's good, and it transforms from the inside out. It fulfills. Folks, that's what we do here at Catholic Answers. Can you please... We have not filled up the phone lines one time this hour, but we're going to do it right now, because right now, folks,
here we go.
You realize right now we have about 16 people per station that support us. Right, Si?
Yeah.
About 16 people. And you know what we have to do? I want to do it on this drive. I want to move that up to 17 or 18. Do you know how transformative that is? There were several drives ago we actually dropped.
Yeah.
And we got nervous when we dropped down to like 14 or something. It was like, oh no. And we've brought that back up. We need to take it up a notch, folks. We don't just want to get by. We want to make this match, and we want to take it to another level so we can do so much more to bring the gospel to people. But we need your help right now, folks. Right now, we have not filled up the phone lines one time this hour. We need to do it now. So, okay, go over to the phone. All right, you're there? Okay, 888. Dial 291-8000. Dial that now, folks. And whatever gift you can give, folks, it is transformative for us. It's what keeps us going. 888-291-8000 or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Or remember, you can text Catholic to 24365.
888-291-8000. I'll tell you what, since Tim wants all the lines filled up, and we need 7 more calls right now to get the lines all the way filled up, 6 more calls right now, we'll do our break. We'll take a very quick break. You dial the phone, and by the time we're back, you'll be done.
Catholic Answers Live.
Do you love praying for people? Have you ever wanted to use your gift of prayer to share Jesus with others and build up the body of Christ? Start a public prayer station with St. Paul Street Evangelization. Listen to people's needs, pray with them, or invite them to meet you at church. St. Paul Street Evangelization can help you get started. Find out how at streetevangelization.com. That's streetevangelization.com.
Welcome back, Catholic Answers Live. I'm psyched. I can remember the name of the show, Catholic Answers Live. Yes, I can remember. We're 5 calls away, so I know we're going to do it. Let's fill up those lines. 5 calls away. Whether you want to give $1 or $100, or as Tim has been asking for $10,000, if you can do it, you'll really help us. As you could probably guess, there's people who are away in the summertime. And maybe not that far, because a gallon of gas is $1,100. So, you maybe didn't go that far, but people will go away. So August is a tough one, and we need your help right now. 888-291-8000.
I have to say this. We have not met our match, okay? Don't make me so nervous, folks. That's why we need that. We need that big gift. I know, Si, we've got multiple people that can give $1,000. Have we had any $1,000?
Yeah, we have. I can go back and look for them for you.
Oh, excellent. Because, I'm not seeing that, and I'm getting nervous here. So, yes, if you could find that,
okay.
That will help my heart rate, number one, okay? But we need that $5,000 gift or that $10,000 gift, folks. Let me tell you, it is so worth it, and I will guarantee you, on Judgment Day, you are not going to be sorry. Oh, I wish I would have spent that on a vacation to Miami. It's too hot and humid there anyway. Give the money to Catholic Answers.
Sorry,
right?
Miami.
And you will not be sorry, I will guarantee you, on Judgment Day.
888-291-8000. I don't want to neglect our day job. I want to make sure that we continue to answer questions. That's what we do here. Tim
Amen.
Staples, senior apologist here at Catholic Answers, and the author of one of the books that we're giving away, Behold Your Mother, a biblical and historical defense of the Marian doctrines. If you want that book, when you call up, ask them how much you got to give, and it's $20 a month, I think, if I remember right. Chris in Virginia, I'm going to come to you while folks are doing that. We're 2 away from filling the lines, and Tim's going to go, well, now it just went down to 3. Now we're 3. 888-291-8000. Chris in Virginia, watching on Facebook. Glad to have you, Chris. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
I don't want to be long-winded. I'll try to keep it succinct here.
Yes.
So I guess the preface to the question briefly is, one, so I think it's fair to say that God's mercy is unfathomable. Like,
Yes.
if we truly knew, our minds would be completely blown.
Yes.
Two, we've also developed a psychological understanding of the human psyche, based on nature and nurture, which
Yes.
has even caused us as human beings to be even more understanding and merciful to our fellow brothers and sisters.
Sometimes.
Well put.
And,
well
Right.
put, though. At least in theory, yes.
in theory, yeah. We're not using phrenology anymore. But yeah, so, and then 3, Jesus does use hyperbole in his teachings.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the cost of discipleship or the destruction of sin,
Yes.
the destructiveness of sin. So I guess to my question,
Yeah.
is it a reasonable hope
Mm-hmm.
that many perhaps will endure the merciful fires of purgatory, but fewer than we think will be damned to hell?
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Well, how many do you think are going to get damned to hell? That's how do
Yeah.
we know if it's fewer than you think? Unless you tell us how many you think.
That's right. Well, I think I get the gist of the question, and it is an age-old question.
Yeah.
Matthew 7:13, Jesus said, "Narrow is the way, few will be there. Wide is the way, many will be there." Folks ask that question and have for centuries, and the church has never given us a definitive answer to that question. But I tend to be with you, my friend, that I believe there is reason to hope that many, if not most, will be saved. And I do believe that many, if you take Matthew 7:13, for example, the point Jesus is making is not that more are going to go to hell than are going to go to heaven. He's saying there are few that are on the path. We can just look around and see that. This is a statement from a prophet who is more than a prophet. He's God saying, wake up, you got to get on the right track, okay? And, if there's been 144 billion people that have ever lived, scientists tell us that, right? 144 billion. Do we really want to quibble over whether, 70% are going to go to heaven or 30% are going to go to heaven? You know what? The bottom line is, if it's either one, we're talking about billions of lost souls. I mean, my gosh, folks, billions of lost souls. If your theology does not light a fire, here's a rule of thumb. If your theology does not light a fire under you to preach the gospel to everybody you can, you've got bad theology. Those who believe all are going to be saved, the church has condemned that. All right, it's called Origenism. That's a no-go in Catholic theology, right? And I know of nothing that will kill the apostolic fervor more than saying, it doesn't matter. Why go and be a martyr somewhere if they're going to heaven anyway? That is insidious when it comes to the proclamation of the gospel. But at the same time, I think when we pound over and over, as the Calvinists famously, there's so few going to heaven. As Jonathan Edwards, if you read his famous homily, 1642, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God, I think everybody's going to hell but him. That is also dark. I think what we do here at Catholic Answers is proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Yes, there will be many who will not go to heaven. And yes, there will be many. In fact, the book of Revelation talks about limitless numbers, right? In both Revelation 7 and Revelation 14, right? A massive multitude. I want to be with that multitude that's going to heaven, and I want to bring as many souls as I can with me. And that's what we're about here at Catholic Answers. And folks, we need your help right now, because not only do we have to make this match this hour, but we have an overall goal, folks, for today. Am I right, Cy?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we have an overall goal for today, which is usually first day is $50,000.
That's right. And so, folks, we've got a long way to get there, and we are not even close. So, folks, we need you right now. Pick up that phone at 888-291-8000, 888-291-8000, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com, or text Catholic to 24365. Folks, we need you to come through. We've got 12 minutes left in this first hour. We need that $5,000 gift and or that $10,000 gift. That's you. I'm talking to somebody right now. 888-291-8000. Help us to proclaim the saving gospel of Jesus Christ, that in fullness we alone possess as Catholics.
Opportunity still to keep going back to the phone, so we'll go to Ryan right here in California watching on YouTube. Ryan, thank you very much for waiting. Go ahead with your question for Tim.
Hello. So first of all, I'd like to ask, for how long will those lines be open, like if I were to call? later tonight.
Okay, usually they'll stay as long as the phones are ringing, and that's usually 10 or 15 minutes after the show goes off. But you can always, if you want to make a pledge anytime, 24 hours, CatholicAnswersRadio.com, and you can just do it there, CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Ryan?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Well, just a general approximation. How much were you thinking of giving? I think everyone would like to. No, I'm just kidding, Ryan. Go ahead with your question.
You're bad, Si.
Sorry, Ryan. I'm only playing.
What's on your mind?
That's fine. So my question is looking at the differences between mortal and venial sins.
Yes.
So I'm a Protestant, and that's one of the things that I don't quite understand at this point.
Sure.
So I understand, you must do it knowingly. That's one of the qualifications.
Yes.
Another qualification is that it must be of grave matter.
Correct.
So my question then would be, is there like a specific process that decides whether it's of grave matter?
Sure.
One example would be like the difference between telling a white lie or like missing out on the Sunday obligation. So
Right.
the Sunday obligation would be considered more of a mortal sin than telling a white lie.
Correct.
But the Sunday obligation isn't one of the 10 Commandments, but telling a lie is. So my question then is, how is that decided?
Sure. Okay, well, Ryan, the bottom line is the entirety of the moral law, we talked about this earlier, can be known through the pure and natural light of reason. So really, natural law, for somebody who's brilliant and can reason to all of this, it can be known through the pure and natural light of reason, but God reveals the moral law and the truths of the moral law to us as well in Scripture and tradition as it is interpreted by the magisterium. So we know the truth of the moral law through natural law as well as the revelation of God, which, the 10 Commandments is just natural law written in stone, except for what day we worship. That has to be revealed. Everything else concerning the moral law is knowable by the pure and natural light of reason. So we can take a look at our 5 natural inclinations, for example. One of them is self-preservation, for example, the protection of human life. So you can't kill somebody. That's contrary to nature. And of course, on top of that, thou shalt not murder is one of the 10 Commandments. Now, there are some sins that are not laid out for, even though they can be determined, through the pure and natural light of reason, but they're not laid out for us, especially when it relates to obligations the church places on us, because the church can bind us gravely to particular aspects of the faith that are not points of natural law, although they're always related in some way. You mentioned not going to Mass on Sunday. Well, that's actually in the 10 Commandments, in as much as the foundational principle, keep the Sabbath holy. Or as we say now, the Lord's Day, because the Sabbath was a principle of the Old Testament that's no longer there. And so that is grave obligation. We can determine that from sacred scripture, but of course the church has put it in stone, just as God did with Moses. He put it in stone for Moses, even those points that could be known through the pure and natural light of reason. The church does that for us as well. So Ryan, I wish we could talk more on that point. There's a whole lot more to talk about. But folks, again, I have to say, this is why we're here at Catholic Answers. And I would say to Ryan and anybody who has questions about this, I have an article at Catholic.com called What is Natural Law? And we have lots of articles on Catholic.com that you can go to and fill in the holes, what we don't have time to do here on the radio. But folks, guess what? Without you calling in right now, we just do not get to keep proclaiming the truths of the moral law and our faith. And so, folks, this is one last pitch for this first hour from Tim Staples. I'm begging you now, all right? Give us a call at 888-291-8000. That's 888-291-8000. Or again, you can go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com anytime and give your donation or text Catholic to 24365. But, folks, we need you to fill up these lines right now. Small gift, large gift, but I don't think we've had the $5,000 or the $10,000 yet. So can somebody call and give that $5,000 gift right now at 888-291-8000 or give that $10,000 gift. I want to come back tomorrow and hear about it came through.
All right. The teacher has spoken. Class, 888-291-8000 is the number. CatholicAnswersRadio.com is the place to go. I'd like to ask you if you could start a new monthly pledge right now. We're going to take a quick break, and then Jimmy will be here for the second hour. And so before we take that break, could you start a new monthly pledge? Could you be part of the team here at Catholic Answers, so to speak? If you can come in at any amount, all new monthly pledges are being doubled up to $70,000 this pledge drive. So in addition to whatever other match you qualify, you know your money is doubled. At $10 a month, you become a member of our Society 315. You get the Society 315 t-shirt. You get a Catholic Answers card magnet. You get all kinds of exclusive content throughout the year. We'd love you to be a member of Society 315. That's $10 a month. Could you come in at $20 a month? In addition to what I just mentioned, we'll send you a copy of Tim's magnificent book, Behold Your Mother, a biblical and historical defense of the Marian doctrines. And we'll send you Jimmy Akin's book, The Bible is a Catholic Book. And if you can come in at $45 a month or more, remember, all matched, dollar for dollar.
Oh, wow.
$45 a month or more, we'll give you all of that, and we'll be able to add Trent Horn's brand new book, Devil's Advocate, Facing My Inner Anti-Catholic. If you can maybe come in at $84 a month, all of that, and you're a member of our President's Club. And I'll talk about that next hour, what comes with the President's Club. If you can come in at $417 a month or a one-time gift of $1,000, we'll just give you everything that's on the list. And you'll be a member of our Founders Circle, which also comes with benefits. Right now, perfect time to call. 19 of our colleagues on the line. Lots and lots of lines open. 888-291-8000 or safe and secure online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
You can keep calling, folks. Keep calling.
And we'll talk about the match, how we did right after this. Tim, thank you.
God bless you, brother.
Man, you really start us off great every time. I'm really grateful for it, Tim. So glad you're here. All right, we'll take a very quick break. Be right back with more Open Forum with Jimmy Akin on Catholic Answers Live. Welcome back to Catholic Answers Live. I'm Cy Kellett, your host. As promised, Jimmy Akin, our guest this hour, and it's open forum. You can call and ask whatever you like. 888-318-7884. I got to talk with some Catholics first hour, some non-Catholics first hour, and that made it a great hour. So anybody who feels like picking up that phone, feel welcome here. We'd love it if you'd call 888-318-7884. Jimmy Akin is senior apologist here at Catholic Answers, the author of a whole bunch of wonderful things, many of them books, including The Bible is a Catholic Book, one of the books we're giving away today. And he's the proprietor of Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World. Jimmy Akin, another big match this hour.
Indeed. We have $15,000 as a match for this hour, and so we need to get started towards raising that. The way to do that is by giving us a call at 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. You can also donate safely and securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. And right now we have lots of opportunities for you because I can see that there are only 2 of our fellow Catholic Answers employees who are on the phone right now. We have a dozen who are just sitting at their desks waiting to take your call. So please keep them company. Call in, show your support, make your donation. The number to call, again, 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. Lots of people standing by waiting to take your call. And we have some special thank you gifts that we'd like to give you in exchange for your support. Cy Kellett, why don't you tell us about those?
I would be happy to, Jimmy. Again, the number 888-291-8000. And we really do appreciate when you make new monthly pledges. So in addition to that, dollar for dollar match for any pledge that comes in of any size. You also get another match if you make a new monthly pledge. And I tell you about that because if you could make that monthly pledge at the $10 per month level, you are at the first level for our giving societies. That's Society 315. We'll send you a T-shirt, a Society 315 T-shirt, a Catholic Answers car magnet, coupons that you can use on the Catholic Answers website. And we also provide lots of free content throughout the year that's just exclusively for Society 315 members. So come on in at the $10 a month level. If it's a new one, it's going to be $30 to us monthly right now. Or maybe you could come in at the $20 a month level or do a one-time gift of $200. It's a new gift. Then we'll be able to do all that I just said about Society 315. We'll also send you Tim's wonderful book, Behold Your Mother, A Biblical and Historical Defense of the Marian Doctrines. And that's not enough. We'll send you a wonderful book from Jimmy Akin as well called The Bible is a Catholic Book. That's at the $20 a month level. Just remember, if it's a new monthly pledge, it's tripled right now to $60 a month because of the 2 matches we have going on. Maybe you could do $45 a month, a one-time gift of $500. If you can do either of those things, we'll add to all that I just mentioned, we'll add Trent Horn's brand new book, Devil's Advocate, Facing My Inner Anti-Catholic. That's at the $45 a month level or better. Maybe you could do $84 a month. That would make you a member of our President's Club, which has wonderful benefits that come with it. Maybe you could do $417 a month. Again, all tripled, and that up to $15,000 this hour. And you become a member of our Founders Circle, which is our highest level giving society, which comes with all kinds of benefits, including getting everything we publish in a year. All you got to do is ask. Jimmy?
And speaking of some of those higher level donation amounts, we will need people's assistance at those amounts. Now, every donation counts, no matter how large or small. So if you can only donate a little, that's great. We appreciate your support. But in order to make our overall drive goal, which is $225,000 or $250,000, we will need people donating at larger levels as well. And I understand that for donations at larger levels, people may need to do some planning. They can need to check their bank account or their portfolio or consult with their spouse or things like that. So I just want to plant a seed today on the first day of the drive to be thinking about that, to be asking yourself, could I donate $1,000? Could I donate $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000? We will need some larger donations in order to make our goals. So if you're able to donate large amounts today and you know it, by all means, donate today. It doesn't have to be all at once. As Cy was just saying, $84 a month adds up to $1,000 in the course of a year. That will get you into our President's Club. Also, $417 a month. That adds up to $5,000 over the course of the year. That'll get you into the Founders Circle. So whether it's a one-time donation or whether it's spread out over the course of a year, if you're able to make a large donation today, by all means do so. But also be thinking, if you're not yet sure if you can make a larger donation, or if you're sure that you can, but you're not sure what the amount is that you can afford to give, then please be thinking about that. And tomorrow and the next day, we'll be asking you to call in. So just wanted to let people know about this so they can think about it. We have had some people who have already been able to donate at larger amounts. For example, we want to say thank you to Laura from Washington State, and Joseph from New Jersey, Jim from Connecticut, and Joseph from Oregon. Each of them, and also Emery from Maryland. Each of them has been able to donate $1,000, and also Edward from Ohio has been able to donate $2,000. So thank you very much to those individuals and to everyone else who has been donating at whatever level.
We're going to go right to the phones now and let Jimmy answer some questions, because that's what we do here, and we don't want to stop doing that during this just brief 3-day pledge drive intended to keep us financed for the next 3 months to be able to do this. But let me just tell you right now, 17 of our colleagues are waiting for your calls, and 15 or 16 of them are available right now. Perfect time to call, make your pledge, maybe make a new monthly pledge and get it triple matched right now. 888-291-8000. Off to the phones we go. Let me see where I'm going here. We'll start with
Charlie in Boise, Idaho on Salt and Light.
All right, Charlie, you're next. Go ahead with your question for Jimmy.
Yeah, how's it going, Jimmy? Yeah, love to be here. Really happy. I listen to you guys all the time on the way to class. Anyways, yeah, so I am a college student, and I have a buddy of mine that's in a Bible study with me that is Protestant, and he has 2 issues with the Catholic faith. No other issues than this.
Okay.
Confession with the priest and the Pope. That's it.
Okay.
And if I asked him, I'm like, if you were given a straight answer on like why we do this as Catholics and why it's the case, would you become Catholic? And he said yes. So
wow,
I'm really hoping you guys are
right on the brink.
So
good for him.
Exactly.
So in terms of confession, by coincidence, yesterday in the second hour, I was on the show, and we had a call where I went over the basis for confession. It's right there in John chapter 20. Since we don't have a lot of time today, I'll refer you to yesterday's second hour, which you can get on the podcast or on youtube.com/CatholicCom or at Catholic Answers Live, however you want to listen to it. Check out the second hour. And I have a discussion there about the basis for confession that you could play for your friend, or just, learn it yourself and repeat it for your friend in a way that you think would be beneficial to him. In terms of the Pope, well, the church is an organization. And that's something that's very clear. Just by its nature, every local church is an organization, and the universal church is also an organization, and organizations need leaders. And the way humans work, they tend to need a single leader, because whenever humans have tried to have situations with leaders who have equal authority, so there's no one single leader, it tends to cause problems. This was very obvious, for example, just a couple of examples that spring to mind where this was tried were in ancient Rome. Twice in the century before Jesus Christ, the Romans tried to have a 3-man government. It was known as the triumvirate. Triumvirate comes from Latin roots that mean the 3 men. And both times that they tried rule by triumvirate, it ended in civil war. The triumvirs could not get along together, and power ended up being consolidated both times in a single person, which is what led to the Roman emperors. Well, Jesus knew that history. He also knew human nature extremely well. And he realized that as long as he was on earth, well, of course, he was the leader of his church, but he wasn't planning on staying on earth. He was planning, after his crucifixion and resurrection, on going back to heaven. And so there would need to be a single leader to replace him. And in 3 of the 4 Gospels, he indicates that that leader is Peter. In Matthew, he says that to Peter that he will build his church on Peter. And he says, I give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven, which is an allusion to an office from the Old Testament. There was a figure in the household of the original King David, and subsequent Davidic kings, who was known as the master of the palace, who had keys as a symbol of his office. So Jesus, as the new David, is making Peter the chief steward of the house of the new David. He also gives him the authority to bind and loose, which was a term used in Second Temple era Judaism for the ability to make and abolish laws. So he's giving Peter legal authority as a lawmaker. He later shares that with others, but he uniquely gives Peter the keys. In Luke's gospel, so that's Matthew's gospel. In Luke's gospel, at the Last Supper, when a dispute arises among the disciples of who is the greatest, Jesus tells them 3 things. And this is all one speech. It is not separate speeches. It's all one speech. The first thing he tells them is that they shouldn't be focused on who's bigger and more important than who. They should be servant leaders. They should have an attitude of service towards people rather than bossing them around. Secondly, he tells them that each of them will sit on a throne with him, so they'll sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And then finally, he turns to Peter and says, I've prayed for you specifically. Satan has asked to sift y'all like wheat, but I've prayed for you specifically that your faith will not fail, and when you have turned back, strengthen your brethren. So Jesus gives Peter a special pastoral role as the pastor of the other disciples. We see the same thing in John chapter 21, where they're at the Sea of Galilee, and after Peter's 3 denials, Jesus makes Peter confess his love for him 3 times. And he does that asking Peter initially, do you love me more than these? Meaning the other disciples who are present. And Peter says, yes, I do. And he says, feed my sheep. And so Jesus has just commissioned Peter to be the shepherd of his entire flock, including the other disciples who are present, because he said, do you love me more than these other disciples? So in 3 of the 4 Gospels, we see Jesus explicitly giving Peter a commission to serve as the leader of the church. There's a paper I wrote on this. It's at my website, jimmyakin.com. It's called Why Be Catholic? An Exercise for Evangelicals. And I go into all this in more detail there. So I'd recommend just Googling Jimmy Akin, Why Be Catholic? An Exercise for Evangelicals. And that paper can give you additional arguments that cover all this in more detail. And you could share a link to it with your friend.
And I will say thank you very much for the call, because we have to take a quick minute here to ask folks to support us once every 3 months. We come to you to ask you to support this program. This program is given out for free to any station, to any internet ministry, to any country in the world where they would like to broadcast it. It's given for free. So we have to pay to produce it, and that costs us about $225,000 over the next 3 months. And when you think about that, it's extraordinary, the audience that we reach and the quality of what is produced, both in video and audio, for that amount of money. It's a fraction of what might be spent on a secular program. We're happy about that, but we got to have that in order to continue to make this show available for free around the world. So we come to you to ask you your help, and we have some matching money to do that. Any money, any donation that you give, any pledge that you make during this hour will be matched dollar for dollar up to $15,000. And we've only used maybe 3,000 of that, maybe 4,000 if I haven't looked in the last minute. And so there's a long way to go as far as matching money to use up. Also, every single line is open here.
According to the Tote Board, we've used 1,500 of those of that in the last few minutes. So
Okay.
we have a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Before we meet our $15,000 matching challenge for this hour. We're only 10% of the way there, and we're more than 10% of the way through the show. We're 25% of the way through the show right now.
I didn't give the number, Jimmy. I just want to get that out real quick. 888-291-8000. 888-291-8000. Every single line open right now. Go ahead, Jimmy.
And great minds think alike, because I was just about to give out the number as well. But there is another alternative that people can use to give, and that's going to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. And that works any time of day, any day of the week, any day of the year for that matter. So if you're listening time delayed, like on podcast or on YouTube or something like that, or if you're in another country, you may be outside of North America where the toll-free number won't work for you. By all means, go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. You can make your donation safely and securely online right there. It will really help us out. And whether you're listening live here in North America, whether you're outside of North America, or whether you're listening time delayed, you can still donate to support Catholic Answers Live, and we really do need your assistance. We currently have 2 folks on the line and 17 who are waiting, just standing by waiting to take your call. The number to call again is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. And as St. Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, God loves a cheerful giver. So please, we love cheerful givers too. Please be of good cheer. Give us a call, 888-291-8000.
It's time to come to you and ask you to keep this program funded so we can keep producing it. We depend entirely upon you. As a matter of fact, if we were to miss just one of these quarterly pledge drives, we would not be able to make the show. And so we do need your help. I'm going to go back to the phones, let Jimmy answer some more questions. But there are 12 lines open on my screen. It says 12 lines open right now, 888-291-8000. Let's go to James in Murrieta, California, listening on Catholic.com. James, you there with us?
Yeah.
Hello, James.
And my question is when the Lady of Guadalupe appeared, was she really pregnant? Why I'm asking here is because I asked my dad at Sam Keys, and he had no possible idea.
And your father is a priest. Sam Keys didn't know. All right. Jimmy will know.
Well, it's not a matter that's in the Bible, so it's something that not everybody, not even every priest would be aware of. So what I can say is this. Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared in the 1500s, so that was about 4 centuries ago, but Jesus lived 2,000 years ago, so he was born a little before the year 1 AD, most probably in the year 2 or 3 BC. And so that's when Mary would have been pregnant, around 3 BC, not in the 1500s. So she wasn't literally pregnant with Jesus when she appeared as Our Lady of Guadalupe. Having said that, she could appear in the vision as if she were pregnant. And when people have looked at the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe on the tilma, on the piece of cloth, some of them have seen indications or signs that make them think she was pregnant. She's wearing a belt above her waist, and some people have suggested that that belt, we can see the bow on the belt, and some people have suggested that that indicates her stomach was, bulging below the belt, and thus that would be a sign that she was pregnant. On the other hand, when you look at the image on the painting, the lines of the fabric fall pretty much straight down. They do poke out a little bit where one of her knees is, like she's got one of her knees forward, but the lines otherwise fall pretty straight. So I would say just by examining the image on the shroud itself, it isn't clear whether she is depicted as being present in the vision or whether she's not, but certainly many people have understood it that way. But that would be something that applies to the vision of Our Lady of Guadalupe, Mary was not literally pregnant with Jesus in the 1500s. She was literally pregnant with Jesus around 3 BC.
James, thank you very much. You did a great job. Thank you for mentioning your father, Father Sam Keys, who is our chaplain here at Catholic Answers. And I'm sure that's why he encouraged you to call and ask Jimmy that question, because he knew Jimmy would know. Thanks, James. Hey, right now, 11 lines open, and we got a long way to go to use the match this hour. It's our quarterly pledge drive. We do the pledge drive just for 3 days, just for 6 hours, and we only use part of each hour to ask you for your support. And thus far, that has always worked out beautifully. We don't need a ton of money to do what we do here. We don't have all the fancy things they have in the secular places, and we don't need them. We just need to have a studio and people to work it so that we can produce these programs. We have wonderful people to do that, and your help is needed to keep it all running. 888-291-8000 is the number to call. 888-291-8000. 8,000, or you can go safe and secure online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Either place you go, your pledge of any amount is matched up to $15,000 this hour. And if you start a new monthly pledge in any amount, that will be matched again because we have a very generous donor who knows we need those monthly pledges. So start a new monthly pledge. Perfect time to do it. 888-291-8000.
And once again, just to remind folks of and by the way, we're going to be going to a break in a few minutes, so that will be an ideal time to call, although it's already really a great time to call because we only have one person on the line right now, and we've got 17 of our fellow employees waiting to take your call at 888-291-8000. But we do have, as we mentioned, some special thank you gifts that we'd like to send you in exchange for your generosity. If you're able to donate at the $10 or more a month level, you'll be a member of our Society 315. We have a special box of thank you gifts that we'd like to send you, including a magnet, a t-shirt, things like that. If you're able to donate $20 or more a month, or a one-time gift of $200, we have a couple of books that we'd like to send you. One is Tim Staples' book, Behold Your Mother, which is all about Marian doctrines and covers the biblical basis for them, as well as church teaching and what the church fathers have to say. And we'll also send you my book, The Bible is a Catholic Book, which is all about the Bible, how we got it, what it contains, when it was written, who wrote it, how to understand it, all kinds of things like that in The Bible is a Catholic Book. If you're able to donate $45 a month or make a one-time gift of $500 or more, we'll send you Trent Horn's brand new book. It's just come out. It's called Devil's Advocate, Facing My Inner Anti-Catholic. And Trent, poses hard questions to himself and then answers them. So that's a new exciting book. You want to be sure and get that. If you're able to donate $84 a month, then you'll be a member of our President's Club, which has all kinds of benefits, including we'll give you everything we publish in the year for free. That's all of the books, all of the magazines, all of the DVDs, all of the audio sets, all of the everything. If you're able to afford $84 or more a month, and a lot of people can. $84 a month. I mean, $1,000, that's a substantial donation for one time, but lots of people could afford $84 a month. And we do need to be hearing from folks like that. We also have the Founders Circle for $417 or more a month. But whatever level you are able to give at, please do give us a call. The number is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. The latest number I have from our tote board says that we have, so far this hour, raised $4,000, which means we need to raise another $11,000 by the end of the hour. And so we're about 28% of the way towards our matching challenge this hour, but we're halfway through the show, and we're about to head to a break. So this is going to be an ideal time to call. We really do need to hear from you if we're going to make that goal. There are 14 of our fellow Catholic Answers employees waiting to speak to you. The number to call again is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. And sometimes during the breaks, the phones can fill up. I certainly hope that happens this time because we need it to. But even when the phones do fill up, you can always go online to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. It's very easy. It's very efficient. It'll work not only on your computer, but also on your phone or your iPad or whatever electronic device you have. The website has been designed to scale for your device, so no matter what you're using to connect, you'll be able to donate online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com, whether it's live or after the fact. We do need to hear from you. The number to call again is 888-291-8000. Once again, 888-291-8000, and we really do need to hear from you.
Boy, do we. There's 11 lines open right now, and we can fill them all up. That would be great. Barry from Texas called last hour. I just got this note. He made a $200 a month donation. He said he couldn't take Tim being so despondent, so he had to call and help out. Well, if I need to sound despondent, I'll do it.
And you don't want Jimmy sounding despondent either.
That would be horrible. So whatever it takes, we need your calls right now. We are struggling this hour, but we struggled a bit the last hour and really picked up the second half. And so maybe we can do that now, but we need lots and lots of good friends to pick up that phone and call 888-291-8000. Every donation matched up to $15,000.
Catholic Answers Live would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners in airing our daily program. Please support the stations and networks that carry us each day, ensuring that we have a platform for broadcasting the show. And please bear in mind that while we do not have to pay for airtime on our affiliate stations, neither do they contribute to the operating costs we incur. It's a great relationship, but it requires that we turn to you, our devoted listeners, for your prayers and financial support to cover our ever-growing expenses. Please call 888-291-8000 right now and help to keep Catholic Answers Live strong. That's 888-291-8000. Or you can donate securely online at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. What began as a humble one-hour daily show that was carried by 4 radio stations has, with the generosity of many fantastic people like you, blossomed into a 2-hour broadcast heard on hundreds of AM and FM stations, the internet, Sirius XM radio, Facebook, YouTube, and via podcast. We don't make that possible. You do. We simply cannot continue this media mission without your most generous gift today. Call 888-291-8000 or log on to CatholicAnswersRadio.com and donate now. People tell us all the time how much they depend on Catholic Answers Live to help them better learn, live, and share their faith. What they're really saying is they depend on you for that. Will you come through for them right now? It only takes a couple of minutes to make a huge difference at 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Again, 888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com. No matter how much you give, be assured of our gratitude and know that God will richly bless you. Phone 888-291-8000 or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. It's important that you take this important step right now, today, to make sure that Catholic Answers Live is here tomorrow and for years to come. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Welcome back to Catholic Answers Live. I'm Cy Kellett, your host. Jimmy Akin is our guest. It's open forum this hour. You are welcome to call, and I'll give this number out once right now because there's another number that I have to give out, and I get easily confused. The number to call if you have a question for Jimmy to ask on air is 888-318-7884. Right now we are halfway through this hour. We have a $15,000 dollar-for-dollar match this hour. It is not yet close to being used up. And here is our president, Chris Check. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Cy. Hello, Jimmy. Gentlemen, thanks for all your hard work.
Well, thanks for having us.
And thanks to everyone so far who's donated to our quarterly drive. This keeps this show on the air, my friends. We absolutely need your support, and we have the very generous support of a collection of major givers who our development team has put together over the past 3 months to put up these matching challenges so that your gift will be doubled. So there's no better time to give to Catholic Answers than right now, because your gift is going to be doubled. It's going to be doubled. Is there a better reason?
Well, love of the Lord, and then it'll be doubled.
You know, Cy, you
sorry.
always make me
Sorry.
feel small.
I
There. You're
apologize.
right. Actually, my friends, I want you to give simply out of the love of Jesus Christ.
Who loves it when you're doubled, when
He
your
does.
donation is doubled. But it can also be tripled if it's a new monthly donation right now, Chris.
Okay. Very good. So monthly donations especially, and that puts you in our 315 Society. 888-291-8000, 888-291-8000. My friends, the entire staff of Catholic Answers is answering the phones right now, waiting to talk to you. Cy, I'm answering the phones. I got a phone call from a man named Ed in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Ed does? He drives Amish people. Because they can't. So I didn't know there was.
I didn't know there was Amish Uber. I had no idea.
So he specifically does this, and you know what he does when he has Amish people in his car?
What?
Plays Catholic Answers Live.
Well, I guess I'm not really clear on how Amish works, but that is awesome.
So he's
thanks very much
evangelizing
for
there,
doing
my friends.
that.
He also gave me $2,000. So
Oh,
I'm
God bless
especially looking for gifts of that size right now because we are behind on this hour. We're behind, and we have a lot of distance that we need to make up, and we don't want to leave this $15,000 on the table because the arrangement that we have with these donors is they don't fulfill the gift until we've met the match. So, my friends, this isn't like a challenge where you hear sometimes there's, a radio station maybe doing or some public broadcasting, whatever, they may be doing we have a challenge. Somebody put up 20 and they're trying to challenge you to meet that. This is an actual match. In other words, we don't get the gift until we make the match.
Right.
And we're in the 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes here to make up a substantial portion. So I'm especially reaching out to my friends here who can make a 4 or even 5-figure gift. And if you do, you'll become a member of our President's Club or Founders Circle, to which attach many benefits. But most of all, you're going to keep this incredible show on the air with the amazing talent that we have. And not just on this side of the glass, but on the other side of the glass there and throughout this entire building.
Didn't even know we were reaching out to the Amish, and that when we are, it's a whole new ball game now.
So I put it this way, my friends. It's not a secret right now that culturally, Christianity is under fire, and the need for the church, the need for the work that Catholic Answers does, is I would say in greater demand than ever, and it is evangelizing not only people unbelievers outside the church, but people within our own church who still aren't coming back to Mass after COVID, for example, still are not availing themselves of the sacraments. So there's a lot of work for Catholic Answers to do. There's a lot of work for my friend Jimmy Akin here to do, for Tim Staples to do, Carlo, Trent, Joe Heschmeyer, Cy Kellett, but there's only 6 of those guys. But you can multiply their effort through the magic of this radio show.
Indeed.
And reach literally millions of people. And every day we get testimonies in this building of people who've been brought into the church, brought back to the church because of Catholic Answers Live.
The number is 888-291-8000. Take advantage of those matches, especially at the new monthly pledge of any amount. It'll be tripled right now, 888-291-8000. 15 lines open out of 17 right now. That's a lot of lines open. Let's see if we can fill them up.
888-291-8000 or CatholicAnswersRadio.com or text Catholic to 24365.
Chris, thanks very much.
Anytime, gentlemen. My friends, help us meet this match. 26 minutes left to go, less than that. Please, we can't leave this money on the table.
What if the Amish want to donate? Do they use a phone, or I don't know how do they do that? Just put it in the mail. We'll take it.
I don't know about the Amish, but I caught a little bit of the last hour, and towards the end of the hour, there was a gentleman who called who asked how late he would be able to call in order to make a donation.
Yeah.
And y'all explained that he could, our employees stay on the phones until they stop ringing, which is, typically something like 15 minutes after the show ends.
Right.
And then after that, people can always go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com. But then when he asked his question, he said, okay, now I'm a Protestant.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
Tim
hadn't thought
answered
about that.
Tim answered his question, and that shows 2 things that are very significant. The first thing, it shows how Catholic Answers Live benefits even people who aren't Catholic. We're reaching people who aren't Catholic. We're giving them information. They trust us to ask us for the information. And so we're really making a difference, not just in the Catholic Church, but outside of it as well. And the second thing it reveals that's very important is you don't have to be Catholic to support the show.
Amen.
If you see value in it, then by all means, whether you're Catholic or not, please do support it. And if you're a Catholic, what are you doing letting non-Catholics support the show if you're not?
Let me follow up with Jimmy just said there, 888-291-8000, 888-291-8000. I want to ask a question to people who are listening, who are regular listeners to this program, and I know that there are many of you, but you've never supported the program. Why? This is Catholic Answers, so this is my question for Catholic Answers. Why, my friends, you've been a regular listener to this show, a gift of $25 or $50 or $25 a month. This show costs us what, Si? About, where do we put the figure at? Somewhere between $600,000 and $700,000 a year to operate, something like that?
Oh, now that's hard math, but yeah.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Right,
all
and if you included the videos, it would be more than that.
Yeah,
but
approaching $1 million, yep.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, I really want to stress with people that is very inexpensive for the quality of media.
It's extraordinary.
It's really nothing compared to what, I don't know, your local news spends to get that on.
Nope. And we have a dedicated team here. The quality of this program is superb because they are so talented, but they are working for what they're working for because they love Jesus Christ and they want to bring people into the church. Here's my next question for Catholic Answers listeners. How much would you write a check for to bring someone into the Catholic Church? So if I said to you, if you wrote a check for $1,000, someone would come into Catholic Church, you would say, that's a bargain. I'm going to do that to make someone a Catholic.
Amen.
Here's the thing, my friends. You can actually write a check for less than that. And because of this program, help bring someone into the Catholic Church. Now, Jimmy and Si will be at pains to tell you it's not them, it's the Holy Spirit. He's using them. That is absolutely true. But we're here to be used by the Holy Spirit to bring souls into the Catholic Church. And your support makes that happen. And my friend, when you get on the other side of the veil, you're going to meet the person.
There it is.
I should say the many people whom you helped into the Catholic Church by supporting this show. So 888-291-8000. If you've never supported the show, I want to know why. Please call and support us. And 2, how much would you spend to bring someone into the Catholic Church? Please, my friends, help us meet this $15,000 goal. 888-291-8000. Sorry, I'm going back to the phone, so they might get to talk to the president. Now, I don't know if they regard that as a benefit or not, but I will be answering calls.
It is a benefit, but talk to our colleagues when you call.
Yep, and if you get me, you can say everything you think Cy Kellett's doing wrong.
Please don't. Don't do that.
I'll just ignore that.
Those come in emails. I'm going to go to Cindy in Nebraska, listening on Alexa. Cindy, thanks for waiting. We lost Annie in Long Island. I was really looking forward to talking with Annie in Long Island, but maybe she'll call back. Let me just give out the number one more time, Cindy, before I take your call. To make your pledge, right now we need it, 888-291-8000. Cindy in Nebraska, go ahead with your question for Jimmy Akin.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be talking to you, Jimmy. Catholic convert, and I guess my question is more towards Protestants. I was wondering about the Protestants thinking that Mary had children other than Jesus. I would like to know, then where are they? If there are children of Mary, and there are half brothers or sisters of Jesus, then where would they be heard from? But we haven't heard from them. If they were afraid to be half brothers or sisters of Jesus, because he was killed on the cross, there'd be neighbors, and they would say that there were children of Jesus, but there doesn't seem to be any of them mentioned in the Bible. And if I was a half brother or half sister of Jesus, or Mary was my mother, I would be shouting it from the mountains. So, I guess that's my question.
So Jesus does have brothers because the New Testament uses that word. In Greek, the word for brother is adelphos, and it does say that Jesus had adelphoi, or brethren. It also says he had adelphi, or sisters. The question is, what kind of brothers and sisters were these? Now, the normal kind of brother and sister that most people have is a full brother, or what's known technically as a brother German. Yes, really, brother German is what a full brother is called. And obviously, Jesus didn't have those because he didn't have a human father. So it would not be possible for Jesus to have full brothers. You will find people who will say, particularly in the Protestant community, that Jesus had half brothers, that Mary had other children, and that that's who these were. But there are problems with that view, and we talk about them frequently here on Catholic Answers Live. For example, when Mary is told she's going to be the mother of Jesus, she's already legally married to Joseph. They're already legally married. She's just waiting for the period of cohabitation to begin. And Gabriel shows up and says, "You're going to have a son." And she responds, "How will this be? For I know not man." Well, she obviously knows the facts of life. She knows about the birds and the bees, because otherwise she wouldn't be asking the question. But her question also reveals something else. It suggests that she's not planning on a normal marriage where the spouses have marital congress with each other, because if that's what she was planning, it would be obvious how she would have Jesus. She would just, in a few months, she'll begin cohabiting with Joseph, and then she'll get pregnant and she'll have a son, and that would be perfectly understandable. So the fact that that she questions this, that she asks how this is going to happen, suggests she's not planning on a normal marriage. Now, we do later in Jesus's ministry, we do get references to some of Jesus's brothers by name. We're told that they're named James and Joseph and Simon and Judas. And one of them in particular, James, went on to have a prominent leadership role in the church. He was the first bishop of Jerusalem after St. Peter left, and he's mentioned in St. Paul's letters. So we know about him a little bit, but we have other questions, like you mentioned at the crucifixion. Where are the brethren? Well, they may not have been physically there. Not everybody in Israel was right there for the crucifixion, so they could have been elsewhere. But why then did Jesus entrust Mary to St. John? We see that happening in John chapter 19. Mary and St. John are right there. Jesus looks at them and says, "Woman, behold your son, and son, behold your mother." And John tells us that from that point on, he took Mary as a member of his own household. That would never happen if Mary had other children. If Mary had other children, she would be their responsibility, and it would be highly insulting to entrust her care to an outsider who wasn't a member of the family. So her own children would have cared for her, and that suggests that the so-called brethren of Jesus are not other children. So what kind of brothers could they be if they're not full brothers or half brothers? Well, some people have suggested they might be cousins, because the term brother in Hebrew and Aramaic can extend as far as cousins, so that's possible. It's also possible that they could be adopted brothers, because your parents adopt someone else, that person's your legal brother. He may not be biologically your brother, but he's your legal brother. However, we have an indication from the 2nd century about what the brethren were. According to a document known as the Infancy Gospel of James, which dates from the 2nd century. It's also known as the Proto-Evangelium of James. But according to that, Mary was a consecrated virgin, which is why she's not planning on a normal marriage. And St. Joseph was selected to be her husband and guardian because he was an elderly widower who already had a family and was not looking to have more children. And so he would be a suitable guardian for a consecrated virgin. And consequently, according to 2nd century sources, like the Infancy Gospel of James, the brethren of Jesus were stepbrothers. They were children of Joseph by a former marriage. And that's the earliest indication we have in church history about what kind of brother they were. So that's a general sketch of how I'd answer that question, and I hope that helps you out.
Cindy, thank you so much for that call and for that question. We are coming up in the last moments of this hour. The first day, we'll close out the first day of our 3 days of asking you to support us so that we can continue to do this show for the next 3 months. The number to call with your pledge, 888-291-8000, 888-291-8000. 14 of our colleagues on the phones right now. Just just 3, it says now, are speaking with someone. So that means 11 lines open for you to call, 888-291-8000. You should be able to get done very, very quickly. Maybe you want to make a new monthly pledge so that you can take advantage of that special match for new monthly pledges. To get it done, if you're in a hurry, if you pull over to the side of the street or something and you want to just get it done, they can get you done in 90 seconds, 2 minutes at the outside. If you want to chat, you want to tell them why you called, you want to share a message with us to read on air, you can take your time to do that as well, because there's plenty of phone lines available, 888-291-8000. If you'd prefer to do it safe and secure online, maybe you're listening later and we're closed up for business for the day here, you can always go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com and make your pledge. CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Long way to go to be fully funded for this hour and to stay on track to be fully funded. It would require $225,000 to be fully funded by the end of these 3 days. We're still well within the window to be able to do that, and we need your support right now to stay on track. 888-291-8000.
And Psych-Hellet, one of the things we often talk about, but that we have only briefly talked about at least this hour. I didn't hear all of last hour, so I don't know how much it was covered. But there is a biblical basis for giving. One of the things that is a theme in both testaments, it's both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, is the importance of God's people using their financial resources to fund the work of God. And this is something that comes up in Jesus' teachings. It's also something that comes up in St. Paul's teachings in the New Testament. He alludes to in Galatians 6 to how one should share all good things with the teacher of God's word, and in context he's talking about financially sharing, financial goods to help underwrite the preaching of God's word. So if you're listening to Catholic Answers Live, and if you learn about the Christian faith in general and the Catholic faith specifically from us here, then we're teaching you God's word. And you may think, what other sources do I have? Now, hopefully, you're getting a lot of good knowledge about the Catholic faith from your local parish. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Parishes vary. But if you're hearing the Word of God from us here on Catholic Answers Live, then please follow Paul's exhortation to share all good things with the one who teaches God's Word. Share with us so that we can keep further sharing God's word with others. It won't just benefit you. It will benefit many, many other people. As Chris mentioned, you'll get to meet them in the next life. All the different people that your donations helped. And believe me, it's going to be a lot of them because we reach a very large number of people, and we get messages all the time from people who say, I came back to the church because of you, or I became Catholic because of you, or you helped strengthen my faith, you helped keep me from losing my faith. All of those people have benefited because of the generosity of donors in the past, and you will have the opportunity in the next life to meet the people that you have helped by your generosity. So please follow St. Paul's exhortation and help us out by making a donation online. Also, in addition to meeting those people, you'll get a reward. St. Paul indicates that God will reward those who are generous in supporting God's work. He says in Galatians 6 that if you sow to the flesh, by which he means spending all your money on your own pleasures, then from the flesh you will reap corruption. But, he says, if you sow to the Spirit, meaning using your funds to support God's work, you will from the Spirit reap eternal life. And so there's an eternal reward in heaven that God will give you in exchange for the generosity you showed in supporting his work. We do need to hear from you, though. If you want to help those people, if you want to receive that reward, if you want to help keep the show on the air and reaching yourself so that you can keep benefiting from it as well as other people, then please give us a call. The number is 888-291-8000. Once again, it's 888-291-8000. We're heading into the closing segment of the show, but this is a great time to call. We still have lines that are available for you that are open with people just waiting to take your call. They just need to hear from you. The number is 888-291-8000. 888-291-8000.
I haven't done a very good job of monitoring the international gifts. I always like to see where gifts are coming from, but I just noticed Chris from New South Wales in Australia donated. So thank you, Chris, for that international support for us. I'm going to go real quick to a question in Fargo, North Dakota. George in Fargo, listening on Real Presence Radio. If you could be quick with your question, George, you'll give Jimmy time to answer it.
Yeah, hi, Jimmy. I have seen online some letters that were supposedly written by Pontius Pilate to someone in Rome describing Jesus and the events of Good Friday and Easter Sunday. I was wondering if you have seen these and if you know if they're authentic or not.
I have seen them, and the consensus in the scholarly community is that they are not authentic, that they were written in the early church, but not in the first century, and so they would not have been written by Pontius Pilate himself. Instead, they were an imaginative creation to envision what Pontius Pilate might have written, but they are not actually authentic.
George, what a great question. Thank you so much. Our number here, by the way, 888-291-8000. We are still in the midst of we're just coming to the end of our first day of the pledge drive. You can also go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
And I think we have time for one more call if we're real quick about it.
All right. I will do my very best. Give me a line number, Jimmy.
Line 4.
Line 4. Let's go to Kyle in Las Vegas, Nevada, listening on Catholic.com. Kyle, you're going to have to be quick if you want an answer.
Hi. Okay, I just want to say I'm a big fan, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've recently gotten into an online argument with a bunch of atheist friends about they claim that the Catholic Church has only started teaching against abortion in the past 200 years.
Okay, so let me intervene there. Let me intervene there because this is a very easy question to answer. That's total nonsense. The church has been teaching against abortion from the first century onward. There was a document that was written in the first century known as the Didache. Didache is the Greek word for teaching, and this document summarizes the teaching of the 12 apostles. One of the things it says is, "Thou shalt not murder a child by abortion." So from the first century down to today, you have a consistent witness in the Catholic Church saying that abortion is a grave sin, and in fact it constitutes murder. That is not something that has come around in the last 200 years. It goes all the way back to the first century. And I hope that helps you out. You can just look up Didache online. It's spelled Didache. There's a copy of the Didache available at newadvent.org. So if you look up the Didache there and search on abortion, you'll find the passage, and you can share that with your friends.
And again, thank you very much for that call. We're coming up to the top of the hour. As Jimmy mentioned, we had someone ask, well, how, if I need a couple more minutes to call, how long will I have? They'll stay answering the phones as long as the phones are ringing. That usually is about 10 or 15 minutes after we leave, so you can continue to try it at 888-291-8000. Maybe you didn't want to miss any of Jimmy's answers, but you still wanted to give. Well, now's a good time to do that, 888-291-8000. But remember, you can always go, even it's optimized for your phone or for your computer, at CatholicAnswersRadio.com. Very easy, and you can get it done quite quickly there as well. CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
And we currently have 7 lines open, so this is a great time to call. You'll get through quickly and easily. We're not going to be able to take any more questions this hour, so you won't be missing anything. The number to call is 888-291-8000. Once again, 888-291-8000. And we have those thank you gifts we'd like to send you. Once again, at $10 a month, you'll be a member of our Society 315. You'll get a T-shirt, you'll get a magnet, a bumper sticker, things like that. At $20 or more a month, or if you're already giving $20 a month and you give an additional $10 a month, you just raise your gift level, you'll get the 2 books. Tim Staples' Behold Your Mother, which is all about Mary, and my book, The Bible is a Catholic Book, which is all about the Bible. If you're able to give $45 or more a month or increase, your donation amount, you can receive Trent Horn's brand new book, Devil's Advocate, where he poses tough questions to himself and then shows you how to answer those questions. So by all means, consider that. $84 a month is the President's Club. Lots of people can afford that. $417 a month is the Founders Circle. Some people can afford that. And we will need to be hearing from such people. So please give us a call, 888-291-8000. That's 888-291-8000, or go to CatholicAnswersRadio.com.
As we go off the air, our colleagues will still be answering phones, and there are lines open now. So go ahead and dial 888-291-8000. Tomorrow we've got Jimmy and Tim again, and we'll do more open forum. So if we didn't get to you today, we'll do our very best to get to you tomorrow. CatholicAnswersRadio.com, 24 hours a day, or if you can call right now, 888-291-8000.